Hey, it's Evan at Lux BMX. If you've recently purchased a race bike, we're going to run through the top 10 things to check to ensure that the bike continues to run smooth. Number one, first thing to check would be your stem bolts. Ensuring the stem bolts are evenly tightened and the stem cap on the bars is evenly secured. Make sure that you won't have your stem come loose or your bars twist or anything like that. Number two is the headset. The simple method of turning the bars sideways and rocking the bike backwards and forwards is the best way to check whether you've got play in your headset. We've done a few videos on how to adjust the preload in the headset, but yeah, it's definitely a fairly simple procedure where you just loosen your stem bolts, tighten your preload bolt, and then tighten your stem bolt back up again. Number three, one of the most important things is your pedals. Commonly, your pedals can come loose after a little while, so it's just one of those things you just want to make sure that they're nice and tight. If you ride around with your pedals loose, it's quite easy to strip your threads out and damage the cranks or the pedals. It's definitely something you don't want to do. Number four, you've got your cranks as well. Just making sure that your crank arms are tight. There are a number of different types of configurations when it comes to cranks. You've generally got some sort of preload adjustment and a clamping mechanism to hold the cranks in place. So just making sure they're tight and there's no play in the arms is really important. Number five is the chainring bolts. So these can work their way loose. So you just want to make sure that they're nipped up nice and tight, that there's no play there. Number six is the hubs. So there's a simple way just to check to make sure you've got no play in the hubs. That's essentially your preload and your bearings. There's a number of different types of hubs on the market that have different methods of preloading the bearings, but most of the time they're pretty straightforward and it's something you can do at home. So if you have any questions specifically on that sort of stuff, hit us up in the comments or on any of our social media or any other contact. Number seven is the front hubs. So we just want to make sure that the front axle or nut or bolt on the front wheel is nice and tight. You don't want your front wheel falling out. So also, if it is loose, your wheel might move around and it's going to affect your steering. Number eight is it's kind of a two-part thing. So your rear hub bolt, your axle bolt, and your chain tensioner. That's sort of, just making sure your tension is tight and your chain is set and you don't have any sort of loose spot in your chain there. Checking that over and making sure that's all nice and nipped up. Number nine is the brake caliper alignment. So just making sure that your brake pads aren't rubbing, the caliper is nice and straight on the frame, on the frame mount, disc brake adapter. So there's generally two Allen key bolts on that one that you can loosen up and adjust just to make sure that there is alignment there with the caliper. Number 10 is your tyre pressure. Tyres need to be checked. They can lose air, so just making sure they stay pumped up. A lot of guys when racing, they might keep your tyres at a lower pressure for training and then to prolong the life of the tyre specifically, and then when they are racing, pump it up and you get a faster rolling resistance. But just making sure that you stick within the pressure rating on the tyre is really important, so you don't want to overinflate or have too little air in the tyre. So that wraps up the top 10 things to do on a new race bike in regards to maintenance, making sure that you keep your bike rolling nice and smooth. Thanks for watching.